I'm going to enjoy introducing her because Gabriela is a fantastic, fantastic lady. If you have not been to the Missing Piece Gallery on Detroit, you need to go. All right? So take advantage of what's here in Dayton, otherwise it shrivels up and it goes away. So, Gabriela is a fantastic activist, artist, entrepreneur, all-around champion for humanity. And she speaks several languages, and she's from Mexico, and she's going to come up here and enlighten us on some things. So Gabriela, Pickett, come on up.
Hello. I went to art school in Dayton, Ohio, and I was enjoying painting fabric when my professor pulled me out of the room because, according to him, I was painting Sasquatch's shoe. He said I needed to pay more attention to the dimensions of the items in front of me, and to his defense, the shoe I painted was twice the size of the final product you see here. When he took me out of the room, he showed me a painting similar to this one, and he asked me what I saw. I replied, the circle of life? He said, no. Life is a box of donuts. No. Our love for sugar is a black hole? To what he responded with a lot of frustration. You know, I hope I never teach you anything. Lucky for me, my professor liked my landscapes, and I was saved by the bell and graduated from art school. Finally, we found the common ground, landscapes. Landscapes resonate in my heart, and they are a way for me to express my deepest thoughts and feelings. They all resemble the Mexico that I knew and that no longer exists. I learned at art school here in Ohio that my view of the purpose of art was very different from what I was experiencing. My reality suggested that rendering what is in front of us and mastering techniques seemed more important to the American School of Art than the Mexican view of emphasizing the message behind a work of art. Once, I invited my friends from Central Africa to my home, and when they saw the painting that will show up right now, they freaked out. My friend from Turkey ran away from my house, and people in exhibitions have said that this is God. Others think that it's morbid, and my friend from Greece insists that I am in a dark place and I am obsessed with death. So keep those reactions in mind as we move along. In pre-Hispanic times, Native Mexicans used a type of script based on holograms. So this type of script was used to decorate everything, from kitchenware to walls to bark paper to carved stone. If one was to drink a cup of hot chocolate, and you had to be really rich to be able to do that, the story of the origins of chocolate would be inscribed in the cup you would drink it from. So when the Spanish conquered Mexico, the natives were stripped from their language, culture, and religion. 19.5 out of 22 million Mexicans died during the first following 75 years of the conquest. So these historical facts were pivotal to determining how we view artistic forms of expression in Mexico. So a syncretic religion emerged due to the attempts by the natives to accept and face the oppressive situation. They did this in two stages, accommodation and assimilation. In the process, a lot of the religious views on death were transferred to Catholic practices, hence the creation of the Day of the Dead as practiced in Mexico. The syncretic religion can also be viewed in the art created by indigenous hands. While they could no longer depict their own gods, they created sculptures made of corn husk and sugarcane paste. The image, like the one on the left, depicts Christian saints, but instead of being painted, the image were created with colorful feathers, and that was the indigenous people's only form of expression. So we're going to move forward for 100 years to 1910, where we have a Mexican society where the majority does not know how to read and write. So how do you spark a revolution? Images like the one here is credited with having played an important role in the Mexican Revolution. Since then, art has continued to serve as a tool for conveying messages for social mobilization. When I paint images like this, I primarily think of the message behind them. The narrative is as important to me as rendering what I see and mastering techniques. Most of my messages involve my desire for social justice or respect for humanity. My first paintings focus on issues affecting Mexico, which is my country of origin. Later, I started to explore social issues from around the world. One theme that is recurring in my art is a depiction of women and children after falling victims of armed conflict. In addition to being killed as innocent civilians, their worlds are often destroyed and women and children become displaced. They also have the least chance of overcoming their situation. My desire to better understand The artistic cultural influences of my native culture, I went back to school and I graduated with a Master's of Humanities degree. My studies combined art and political science. At that point, I became aware that several artists who use art as a venue for social statements had no forum for their art. And that's in an effort to provide venue for artists concerned with social issues, I partnered with Steve Freiberg, the former Dayton International Peace Museum director, and we formed what is now the Missing Peace Art Space. The gallery is a forum for exploring issues of peace and social justice in a non-commercial environment. The gallery opened its doors in 2009. The opening exhibition showed artworks of Max Ginsburg. His artwork has been featured in every art magazine in the country. Even though he won an award for this painting, he had a hard time finding a forum for his work. He was happy to find a forum for his controversial paintings at the Missing Peace Art Space. Ginsburg tapped into social issues ranging from war to torture to racism to segregation to the power of peaceful protest. He renders powerful images that are not shy at depicting the social inequalities of our country. Ginsburg is over 80 years old and hesitates participating in protests where he might be arrested. He feels more comfortable speaking by using his paintbrushes. The Missing Peace Art Space also exhibits the works of artists like Helen Broadfoot, who highlights the violation of human rights of children around the world. Her paintings show the innocence lost. Her work was accompanied by a great deal of research. Her message is as important as the image depicted in her artwork. Her paintings are part of our permanent collection, and it has traveled through several countries. Now, going back to the skeletons, I was very happy when my great friend, M.B. Hopkins, talked me into celebrating Dia de los Muertos in Dayton, Ohio. My first thought was, who's going to join us? And to my surprise, it turned out that hundreds of Daytonians enjoyed the celebration. And yes, many people even dressed as skeletons, like the ones I painted, and people thought it was morbid. It was then that I realized that this celebration was an opportunity to bridge cultural differences. While we have a different view of art and its functions, this celebration can be embraced by everyone because we remember our ancestors and we want to celebrate the lives of our loved ones. So now you see where I come from, and I would like to invite you to see this image I showed you before. It is not a gaudy or morbid skeleton. It is my depiction of the sad reality of infant mortality in developing countries. It is a depiction of women and children as casualties of war. And the one on the right probably doesn't need an explanation. Thank you so much.